Praying to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. I'm correct. A fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. Indian honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Hey, I jump on that track. Ready to roll. Ready to rip. Ready to reach. Place my bets. Hey, you never know when playing on hopes what you could achieve. Making the goal. Peace with the soul. Don't matter the bottle with what you believe. Cause if I'm taking it all in the calling, it's harder with nothing that's harder than free. Not giving up though. Don't trip. Gotta go. Take a slip. Make a pass. A little low. Put it down the gas for a show. Slide a pass in the grass for the OFO. Got first, never last for the oh no. To the pass, to the glass, to the FOO. Cause I'm gonna pass all you cowards with ease. And when them speeding demons come, we don't feast with the beast and the evil hunting lust. Burn your cheeks when I speak with my real passion, love. Turning all your tricks against you cause you're one and only master. Ready to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. I'm correct. A fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. Indian honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Hey. And I don't care if you don't know my name now. Cause you'll hear it when my old lady goes to scream out. Sunset, sunrise, 45 to shine down. Only shine is the truth to the few in power. That's why I roll with God. Middle finger, y'all. Making trust in your clicks with your demigod. Worship to the money, your material. You'll get ripped in half, Sodom cash to Gomorrah. And if a wolf ever should come across on your path, aiming straight for your goods, make a trade to his cash, fake with the woods, replace for your trash. Nah, you can have it, sucker. Ready to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. I'm correct. A fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. Indian honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. I'm correct. A fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. Indian honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Hey. Let's rip. Ready, rip. Praying to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip.
We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst. So we can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with no shade. So letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her in sideways, living the life, letting her ride, outside winning to die. Cross her up on the cushion, crossing the line, cause some drama and some bullshit they didn't like. And if they don't like the mood, then we're ready to fly. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong. chosen few. And we pray, cause we know that they might not ever come back. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wide, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do.
Praying to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. I'm ready to rip. I'm correct. A fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. Ain't being honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Hey, I jump on that track.
Oh my, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today. Oh no, we had to get the glasses on tonight because we cannot believe what we are seeing out there, ladies and gentlemen. Sean's in the background, he's all tapped out, he's all drunk. We got the bush apple. I'm just playing, we got the bush apple. We do, but we don't. We can't show it on camera, guys. Call it, Chaz, I will. Coming in hot, you heard it first. Coming in motherfucking hot like Rico in the third three on the bottom. Sean, coming in hot, coming in hot. Oh my, the ready to rip is down and out, and we are here, and the lights are boom. Look at that, instantly, ladies and gentlemen. The Deathridge optician glasses. If you need some opticianal work, be sure to reach out to Greg Deathridge. The same Deathridge, yes, with Jonathan Davenport winning the $1 million, Donnie Shots. I believe Ryan Timms has got some on. That's how he won at Knoxville last week. But yeah, Deathridge Racing Opticians, check them on out. I don't know if Rico needs some. Do you think Deathridge needs to reach out to Rico, Sean? I don't. We needed Sean to he's commenting and y'all can't hear him right now. But we'll go to the chat real quick. I know the chat is always entertaining. I've seen Madsen do the same shit at the Kings Royal in the TSR-14. Wah. Listen to the y'all fucking bitches. I can't believe you. Call it, Chaz. I'll tell you. Might have to send some of these guys back to Ocean Speedway. Oh my God. The land of 11 360s, Sean. They had 11 360s posted on Facebook. I would have hid that shit. Oh, my. Make Donnie Shots great again. Wow, somebody said it. Donnie was texting me, actually, tonight about the race. I'm not going to tell you what he was saying. Rico took accountability. What else can he do? The wreck already had happened. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about that very much in particular. Hey, Chaz, how do they add PEC engines in sprint cars, PEC engines in sprint cars? Whistle some shit, but big money light noodles tear them down. I don't even know if you are sober enough to type correctly because it doesn't look like it, sir. I hate to say it. If Rico didn't wreck the 55, he might have come up just a little short. That's a very cruel way to say that, guys. That is not fucking right. I'm just saying, that is mean. That is extremely mean. Although, in the world of diversity, there is something that we have to talk about that your comment right there just made me think about it. And I was going to skip over this part I can't believe I forgot about it because I was laughing hysterically earlier today when I noticed this. And it is about the High Limit Series, and it is about diversity in the sport. Let me see if I can find this post that I had shared earlier this evening. There it is. There it is. Hold on. Let me make sure the desktop audio is off. Look what we found here today while we were scrolling the internet, ladies and gentlemen. And I think this is huge for the sport of sprint car racing in particular. This is absolutely important. Listen.
Everyone who is ginger who has red hair
Listen to this.
are black people.
Listen.
All gingers are black people. If they have red hair, they are black. You see a white man with red hair, that's a black man. You see a white woman with red hair, that's a black woman.
Did y'all hear this?
Gingers are black. All gingers. I just need to remind y'all again, everyone who is ginger who has red hair, those are black people. All gingers are
I'm not
black
saying
people.
this.
If they have red hair, they are black. You see a white man with red hair, that's a black man.
And that's
You
Brad
see a white
Sweet.
woman with red hair.
This lady is saying that Brad Sweet is actually a black man. We have a 6-time national black man champion. We need to be celebrating this.
That's a black woman. Gingers are black. All gingers.
This is changing. My mind
I just need to
was
remind y'all
blown
again,
when I learned this
everyone
today.
who is ginger who has red hair,
This is blowing my mind.
those are black people. All
So, ladies and
gingers are
gentlemen-
black people. If they have red hair, they are black. You see a white man with red hair, that's a black man.
She just said it, Sean. She's saying this, right? Sean's in the background over here. She is saying that Brad Sweet is a black man. I don't know why he didn't get the height to go with it, but she's saying that, Sean, she's saying that the Brad Sweet is a black man. And if this is true, we need to run with, especially High Limit. They already made the short person joke. I'm not even trying to do that. But if we want to talk about inclusion, Kyle, you know this, you're Asian. Kyle's the Asian guy. You know, we had plenty of white cracker guys just running around out there. We got Rico inclusion. And now we have a literal black man, Sean, according to these people who study genealogy. Brad Sweet's black. All we need is for Jade Avedizian to come to the High Limit Series, and it's set to go to the top. But if I am involved with any of these series, I am promoting this. This is huge. Sean, is this not huge? Yeah. He said, yeah. I know y'all can't hear him.
You see a white woman with red hair, that's a black woman.
This is huge.
Gingers are black. All gingers. I just need to remind y'all again, everyone who is ginger who has red hair, those are black people.
This is huge.
All gingers are black people. If they have red hair, they are black. You see a white man with red hair, that's a black man.
She said it. I can't combat this, Sean. It's not my place to tell this black woman that Brad Sweet's not a black man. She is claiming Brad Sweet. I can't, it's not right? I can't, as a white man who doesn't have red hair, I can't tell the black community that Brad Sweet is not a black man. Because now they have a real stake in the dominance of sprint car racing. 6-time national sprint car champion, 5-time World of Outlaw champion. We didn't know it, but she did, is a black man dominating our sport. Making an alliance with the Asian of Kyle. This is next level. This is like Egypt and China coming after us, Sean. I'm just saying, although there is a badass basketball game on right now, OKC and Denver's tied 102-102 with 20 seconds. I'm going to watch this real quick. If you're not watching it, turn to the game. That we're gonna jump right back on this. The clock's running out. OKC with the ball in their hands, dishing it out to SGA, one-on-one with Braun. Game on the line, 5 seconds. He goes for the layup shot. He misses. Rebound by Denver. Timeout with 2.4 seconds to go in the game, or was that a foul? It's a timeout. Oh, my God. This game is huge. Almost as big as this game. Do we have any reactions to this new news that we are all being shown about Brad Sweet? Ginger Kitty equals Raja Karuth. Somebody said Bubba Sweet. That's not right, guys. Wow, that's a racist comment. Brad Sweet needs a watermelon sponsor. We can't be saying things. This is the problem. Now, see, now y'all are going to get me to rant about the racism in the sport and how y'all are horrible white trash pieces of shit. I'm making I'm making a joke. I guess, yes, this is funny. But the fucking bitch is saying this. I'm not saying this, Sean. I didn't make a video today saying that ginger people are black. She did, right? I didn't do this. She is saying this. Of course, I've always advocated for inclusion. Always stood up to the racist slide or die 24Xs with their watermelon jokes. I've always stood up against y'all pathetic people. Watermelon sponsor from Mexico is what they said now. I don't know about that because the tariffs may be too fucking high. But once again, are the tariffs the issue or is it Asians pushing Asians? Somebody said, so do we have to say ginger instead of ginger now? Oh, my God. Oh, wait. Oh, overtime. They're going to overtime. I am curious about some of the comments on this video, though, where she says this. We go to the comments. Oh, my God. And y'all thought y'all were bad. Hold on. Oh, my. This is the problem with social media is when you decide to go to the comments. Look what this sumbitch had said right here. I mean, when you rearrange the letters ginger, it does spell a certain word, but beyond that, I really don't see it. Wow. Y'all are horrible people. In the comment section of my show and in the comment section on Facebook. That's just as bad as the watermelon joke that y'all tried to do. And I don't even think it's a joke. That's very offensive. Gingerism is a real thing, someone said. The hell does she know about Brad Sweet? That's the real issue. She doesn't know Brad Sweet. Nobody knows Brad Sweet. We know a Brad Sweet. But she is making a statement that if you are a ginger, red-headed, orange-headed person, that you are a black man or a black woman. If it's a white, you heard her. She is claiming Brad Sweet as a part of the black community. And at this point, if I was the black community, I'd be trying to claim them too. You're dominating the sprint car world, both on the racetrack and in the management side, and taking it over from the top. So I wouldn't be against all this if I was the black community. Let's see here. Somebody said, Mike, hi. I want to look at Michael Millard. He does have a decent following and class act guy. I don't know what that means. Anyway, tapping ginger posse. I don't know what that means. Oh, God, the wordplay. I see what you're saying, you piece of shit. You're disgusting. Anyways, let's look into the actual racing scenarios that happened tonight. And, of course, we are here to talk about this. Even Flow Racing said on their Facebook page, the big wreck that occurred. Rico Abreu gets a huge run off of turn 2, dives to the inside, where Kerry Madsen had been running in 3 and 4 multiple times. Contact is made. As you could see there, contact is made. Rico Abreu goes in the air. Madsen goes up the track. Nowhere for Brad Sweet to go. Look at this. The black man of Brad Sweet apparently had nowhere to go. Slams into the side of Kerry Madsen. He goes flying through the air. And about the same point that Brad Sweet's car nosedives into the ground, Kyle Larson, you see coming, slams into the side of Kerry Madsen. Who knows the damage? Luckily, there was a wing there. This could have been an actual very dangerous scenario for Kyle. I mean, look at that. I mean, that car is slammed into the damn almost the cockpit. If that wing's not there, that's a very dangerous. This was a very dangerous situation for Larson in this scenario, because really bad things could have happened there. Once again, if this was a non-wing car and there wasn't a wing that kind of crunched up and protected Kyle, this could potentially be very bad. I'm trying to get this back to full screen. Once again, this is on Flow Racing. Trying to make sure their logo is still on the screen as we review this. But you see the contact right there with Madsen and Larson. This is at the same instance as Brad Sweet is nose diving into the ground at a very high rate of speed. He continues to flip. Larson pulls away with his wing crushed into his car. I was concerned. You see Kerry Madsen on the ground upside down. You see Brad Sweet with extensive vehicle damage. There's the damage from Kyle Larson. Like I said, that wing really protected Kyle here tonight, guys. We need to be very happy that he is okay. He got out of the car. This was another slow-mo replay of it. You could see Rico did a bit of a good job into 1 and 2, got the run, and tried to take advantage of it. And Madsen was already starting his trajectory to the inside of the track, and there was just nothing that Madsen could do. When I saw it, of course, I had several people blowing me up saying, "Oh, my God, look what Kerry just did. Good job, Kerry." I'm like, hey, I kind of see that as Rico's fault. You know, he kind of knew that that's where Madsen was going to end up trying to go if he doesn't show his nose. Like, if we're at this point of the straightaway and Rico's halfway up the side of Madsen, if he's another half car length ahead and Madsen has the opportunity to see his nose and this happens, then that's, I would say, on Madsen. But when you don't really get to show the nose until, you know, right as, you know, Madsen's already having, because if you watch them, they were having to commit to the bottom pretty early, diving into 3. And at that point, you kind of know that that's where Madsen's committing. And if I was simply kind of saying racing incident initially, but when people started to try to place the blame on the Madsen messaging me, I was like, if there's anyone who was driving any type of overly aggressive and not really necessarily driving safe or caring or considerate, it would have been the over-aggressive move of Rico to dive the car off in there. Even though, as they made contact, as Chase Rodman said, it was a left rear to right rear contact. But the closing rate, you could see how much of a closing rate that Rico was actually getting. So it was almost a split second for that right rear to get to that left rear of Madsen. That sent him up the track. But Rico, after this happened, taking out the points leader, Brad Sweet, of course, was not able to continue. Tried to make some repairs, but was not able to repair the car good enough to actually get the job done to go back onto the race and continue it. He did make it back on the track, but it was just too damaged. They tried to go pit side. They couldn't come back on the speedway. You also took out, in this instance, I'm not saying Rico took him out blatantly, even though some people, and we're going to talk about his side of the story here very soon. He feels like he took him out, and if he did, he took out the race leader, the points leader, and arguably the person as to why people are there to watch in the amount of people there were, and that's Kyle Larson. It really sucked because Larson was the Durst Dice guy, and it would have been really cool for the guy to win that. And, I mean, if you would have rolled the Durst Dice and you get Kyle Larson, it kind of don't matter where you start. You got to feel like you have a pretty damn good chance to win that Durst Dice roll thing if you have Kyle Larson as your guy going in the main. Now, this is another different angle down the back straightaway, and this is what I was talking about. Madsen had already started committing right there, and Rico's not really into the frame. I mean, he was, but right here you can almost tell just based on the shadow of the car that Rico's nose is just now at that left rear of Madsen. You can already see Madsen kind of arcing that car to make the dive into the corner. It's already committed, and then bam, into the side of Kerry Madsen. Big time air for Rico to not go over. It was very close. Then, of course, you see the carnage that followed. But regardless, Rico Abreu did go on to win this race. He got out of the car and was on the right rear of the vehicle. And instead of going up top, on top of the wing, to conduct his victory in victory lane. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, for the Rico Abreu fans, for people of the sport, Rico Abreu got to the mic, and as all of y'all are screaming on your Facebooks and yelling at me about Rico, and even myself, you know, sitting there like, yeah, that was his fault. If I got to talk about it, it was his overly aggressive move. And you know, if I have to talk about it, I do, because that's what we do. We talk about the sport. We're one of the few people talking about the sport, so we got to give its time of day. You know, that the people who talk about and do things around this sport, that's what we do to keep it entertaining, to keep the fan bases engaged with what's going on, and reactive shows. You know, we're not like having debate shows on here like ESPN has 8 debate shows every day calling for players to get fired, GMs to get fired, owners to sell their team. You know, we're not that disgusting and cruel. We're just talking about sports and things that happen on the track and all that. And sometimes we have grudges, and, hey, we entertain those as well. But regardless, you have Rico come up to this mic in victory lane with Tony Laporta. And like the title says, can you really believe? Can you really believe what this guy did? Can you really believe what we saw? Can you really believe what he just did in that instance, especially in victory lane? Because in that instance, Rico Abreu, somebody who most would consider one of the most popular drivers in the sport. Some people would say Tanner Holmes is bigger. I disagree. Somebody who does the right things, says the right things, and we're kind of also used to when these type of situations happen where there's a borderline racing incident on the track, that the victor of the scenario either doesn't want to talk about it, halfway acknowledges it, and especially when it's so close to a racing incident like this situation was, doesn't really place blame on themselves, kind of calls it a racing incident. We have seen instances, though, where like Brad Sweet sent James McFadden over the hill at Salina. He took a lot of blame for that, because it was very a little different of a racing. This was a very close racing incident to place blame on one side or the other. I hate to say it again, but Brad Sweet at TMS with James McFadden sent him into the fence, and maybe that's why James isn't in the United States right now racing. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But he also took extreme blame. But something that's this close to a racing incident or fault, you had Rico Abreu come out and show everybody how you're supposed to handle yourself after a scenario like that happens. I mean, the way Rico Abreu handled this, I'm not sure if there's another way that you could do it. I'm not sure if there was a better, and not politically correct, I'm not saying politically correct, I'm not sure if there is a better sincerity of expressing your feelings and how you feel about a topic, expressing the sincerity of feeling for another team, another group, a racing incident of any kind. I'm not sure if there's anyone out there that could even come close to what we saw Rico do. and doing it on the fly and doing it in such a elegant way. I mean, the class level that Rico showed in that interview, and Tony Laporta tried to pull him off of talking about it, tried to pull him off of, just focusing on that incident, but Rico didn't want to have it. Rico wanted to fully conduct the feeling of what he felt to the audience, to the people watching, to the other team. He did not want to have an ounce of celebration in that interview. And that shows an extreme amount of humility on Rico's part. And at that point, you anyone out there upset at Rico cannot be. There's no way, whether you're a big Kerry Madsen fan, even if you're Kerry Madsen himself, you could tell Kerry Madsen, if it was 10 or 15 years ago, he would have went motherfucking that camera and on that interview when they asked him, how are you doing? Are you okay? But luckily he didn't. And I think if Kerry Madsen watches this Victory Lane interview, he himself is going to feel less angry or less frustrated or less upset about what happens, because I don't think there's a better way. I really don't think that there was a better way than how Rico handled this wreck and this incident. I just don't think there's a better way. And it was extremely impressive, and hopefully other people who are in similar scenarios, and we've seen similar scenarios, and people will get cocky about it, or people will get defensive about it, or people will try to ignore it and go on to the next subject. And just maybe mention it. Yeah, it was a racing deal, but I'm out here trying to win a race or something like that. It was close. Could it be his? Could it be my fault? We get those types of reactions all the time. But I think that the way Rico handled this is not only, great for us as the viewing audience to see, great for the Vermeer team to see, great for Kerry Madsen to see, but I also think it's good for the up-and-coming racers and other peers of the sport, other racers in the sport, to see this. And if you're in a scenario where it might have been your fault and you were behind the wheel, and it's not like he said he went in there and right-reared him. He just said he was too aggressive. He, didn't want to destroy race cars. Second thought himself, the self-reflection in this interview. If that can bleed on to other drivers in this sport and the drivers coming up the micro scene, the outlaw kart scene, the 305s, the 360s, and like I said, and there's other drivers in this field that we know wouldn't have been as self-reflecting in a situation like that, and in the outlaw side as well. I think and even the NASCAR guys, the F1 guys. There's a lot of people in the entire motorsports industry that can watch this scenario and situation, how it played out, and look at how Rico handled it. And if they could take a little advice from how that was handled and apply it to situations that they may encounter in their life, I think that will go a very long way in the progression of the sport and the respect of people, because the amount of respect that Rico should garnish from the way this was handled, no matter how you think that wreck happened, sometimes it ain't what happens, it's the reaction. They talk about the reactionary mind. In fact, some of the smartest intellectual people in the world, and even in religion-based systems and other systems, it all comes down to the control of the reactionary mind and actually reacting in a very processy way that is intelligent, not getting caught up in the emotion, not getting caught up in this, actually having control of the reactionary mind, the fight or flight mode, actually seeing that as a old barbaric way and actually questioning that reactionary state that is natural instinct to us as human beings. And I think how Rico reacted can be not studied, but can be emulated across the board in the world of motorsports. I mean, there was not a better way to conduct an interview, to conduct oneself in a situation like this. You got to give credit where it's due. And it is just amazing to see how Rico handled that. Fault, no fault. He's claiming fault. He also wouldn't get away from that fault. Doubled down on the fault. Doubled down on the care. Doubled down. Didn't want to move on and barely mentioned his own sponsors. Doubled down to the apologies to the fans and everything like that. That's how you handle it. That's how you handle it, in my opinion. Congratulations to Rico. I would say more so not on the win, but on teaching the rest of the motorsports world how to act in scenarios like this. Let's see what y'all have to say. Rico followed the yellow brick road. I don't think that. Took it on the chin. Exactly. Thank you. That's because Rico has had to work extremely hard at every aspect of his life to get where he is. Timothy, I know you're being nice when you say that, and I'm not saying Rico hasn't worked hard, but I'm glad Broke Joe isn't on the line right now. I'm glad Broke Joe isn't on the line right now. And that's not a shade at Rico. What do you think about the Boot 13? Fired yet? I don't think so. A lot of the situations that have happened around the Boot 13 have been not necessarily of his fault. Like tonight's wreck with the Boot 13, I don't see how that you can blame the driver in that. And I know we just had our Jacob Allen deal where, can you blame the wall? Maybe you could, where, Kel Thomas got moved on very quickly and because of tearing up equipment. I'm sure the Boot 13 car does not like to tear up equipment, but at the same time, there is a commitment for this year. How many partners are involved in that commitment? You got to think about these things. There's certain deals out there. I don't know the deal with the Boot 13, if it's a rent-a-ride, if it ain't, if there's a sponsor that came along and paid the bill to have him in that car all year. I'm not saying that is a scenario, but if that is the scenario with the Boot 13, for instance, like potentially the 5 with the Crouch scenario, there's deposits, there's deals, there's money involved to where if these cars get tore up week in and week out, it's not really on the car owner to pull it out. It's on the people financially invested into the ride, into the partnership, that's going to have to pay for damages, decide if they want to keep doing it. And most of the time, if they pull out early, the team will still keep all the money involved. I'm not saying that that's the case with Pursley. I think he's really good, deserves to be getting a shot. He ran very strong last year in the 25 car. So he got a shot with the Boot 13. But I do think in today's world, even if you get your ways in motorsports through some style of merit-based performance, there is some kind of financial assistance in making these big national pairings, especially with somebody who doesn't really have extensive regional success or extensive sub-series success. But I don't think that that's an issue. I think a lot of the problems around the Boot 13 have just been bad luck. And if you would ask a lot of people, that would be because the damn number of the car is 13. I mean, back to GoPros and second guessing. Sprint car racing seems like a make-a-wish now. Can I buy them heads like old school? Probably not. I agree. Just seems like a lot of shit on that car, be breaking on that car. Yeah, and it's unfortunate for the Boot 13 that's happening because that is a small-town team in a way that has went on the national scene and rode. But Justin Peck wasn't necessarily keeping cars always clean. I'm sure he was doing very well, and he wasn't damaging the car as much. But I just think these are some unlucky instances that is causing things to happen with that race car. And I don't think you should get rid of the driver due to bad luck. Who won the game? Nuggets? Hell yeah. We need the Nuggets to win. 113-104. Denver leads the series 2-1. Anyways, into the other topics, because this was a big shakeup in the points. This was your official results. And we had some interesting shockers. Speaking of Justin Peck, ran third. Tyler Courtney, of course, goes second. Justin Peck runs third. And he did mention how they had a new Shaver Ford motor. So the 26 car is still rocking Fords. Got a new one, enjoys the power, but did also talk about the balance of the car. And we talked about that with Donnie going back to Chevys, is there is some weight differences. and the balance of the car has to be worked on differently than if it is a Chevy. And this team, if it's not used to that, then it's going to have to find alternative ways on how to set that vehicle up. He said he felt this and that on the racetrack. It's a little different than it should be, but they're getting somewhere. And I thought Justin Peck drove an amazing race. Speaking of driving an amazing race, Spencer Baston, him and Corey Day were running nose to tail there with about 15 or 10 to go, 10 to 15 to go. And Spencer Baston turned on the damn afterburners and drove up into the fourth spot there over the last 10 laps. A big round of applause for Spencer Baston. A lot of people thought that pairing would do some special things this year. It hasn't started out how they would want it to, but this was a very strong run for Spencer Baston. Speaking about that, Scott Baguski, or Baguski, how are we saying this guy's name? This photo right here, Chuck Howell's images, I think that, Howe, in the Mel Hambleton sprint car here. I believe that is a Kansas sponsor on that car. Not too many other things on the race car, but Chuck Stowe for the picture. Chuck Stowe. So Chuck Stowe, Chuckstowe. And this was taken at Knoxville. But Scott Baguski doing a very good job. I always say Baguski. I'm sure it's Baguki or something like that. Doing a very good job. Was battling for a top three. Looked like he might have a chance at contending for second. Rico was kind of far out there. Tyler Courtney did work his way into contention at the very end, but didn't ever really get nose-to-nose. Finished a half a second behind Rico. But Baguski got into a little battle there with Peck. It was very entertaining, and then I think it was just right at the line is where Baston got around Baguski there. You also had Emerson Axum, who jumped off the Outlaw Tour for the first time. He ran sixth. Corey Day ran seventh. Aaron Reitzel, who I was like, where was he midnight? What happened here? I would have assumed Aaron Reitzel to be a little more closer to the front, but he wasn't. I believe he started 13th or 14th, got up to 8th, still a good run. Brett Marks, and then, of course, Tanner Holmes in his last race here in the Midwest. He said he is going back to the West Coast tomorrow. I'm not sure if he's going to be at the NARC race. Do you know that, if he's trying to make the NARC race? Because NARC is at Antioch tomorrow, which we plan to talk about that. We will be live here on the channel tomorrow after the racing events, potentially during the NARC Antioch event. Casey Kane fell back. Caleb Johnson in here. Chase Randall was the hard charger, I believe, went 25th to 13th. Nice to see him have a performance that's worthy that we all thought he would have. Brad Sweet, though, of course, finishing 21st, which is a huge blow in the championship standings. I know they made a big deal about the DNF that Brad Sweet had, and we did look it up. But before we look it up, we'll go ahead and show y'all that. They made a big deal about the DNF from Brad Sweet. But at the end of the day, we did go look it up. Not sure if AI is telling the truth or not on this. But we did ask AI when was Brad Sweet's last DNF with the World of Outlaws, because I don't think he's had one with High Limit, but it said Brad Sweet's most recent DNF did not finish. It was in a World of Outlaw race, was on October 4, 2024 at the Williams Grove Speedway. So not that long ago. It did say before that he had another DNF July 24, 2024. So this is what AI is saying. AI is actually pretty hip to the sprint car industry world. AI has actually predicted that Justin Sanders is going to win the NARC race tomorrow. Very interesting that it did that in a very weird way as well. But it does say that Brad Sweet's most recent DNF with the World of Outlaws in particular was October 2024. So about 6-7 months ago. What is that? Yeah, 5, 6, 8 months ago. So it's been a while. I mean, that's the deal with Brad Sweets. Mr. Consistency, DNFs usually don't happen for this team. But it was a big hit because now you can maybe have a championship battle. And the championship battle definitely did tighten up with Tyler Courtney going second and Brad Sweet finishing where he did there in 21st. I believe this was at 84 points to start the night. It is down to 42 points between Tyler Courtney and Brad Sweet. Of course, Courtney is still winless on the year, but now him and Brad Sweet are tied for top 10s on the year. You also have Rico tied for top 10s. Of course, Brad Sweet's been in the top 5 every time he's raced, according to the stats here. Rico Abreu has 2 wins, but he's only been in the top 4 of those 9 features. Tyler Courtney's been in the top 5 of those times. Of course, he had issues at TMS last week, but he also has 0 wins. So if Tyler Courtney didn't have issues in the main last week, this could potentially be down to single digits or in the teen separation between Brad Sweet and Tyler Courtney. And I feel like the High Limit Series kind of needs Brad Sweet to have these off nights to tighten this championship battle up. Because a lot of people, I think, have it in their mind. There's no one that can beat Brad Sweet on a consistent basis. But if he has a night like tonight, another unlucky night, that's how you could beat Brad Sweet. Those are the breaks that, Gravel and the Outlaws didn't necessarily get over a few of those years. Was a really bad night or a DNF here or there. And that's how Brad Sweet whooped their ass on the Outlaw Tour. So I think High Limit as a brand, a marketable brand and series, needs this championship to be tight. And, of course, due to Tyler Courtney's lack of performance or issues at TMS, everybody's kind of there with him now. You look. Tyler Courtney's 42 back. Rico Abreu's 52 back. Brett Marks is 62 back. Aaron Reitzel is 79 back. And that's kind of the separation because then it goes to 110, 125, Pat Kane. But this top 5 really tightened up now, especially the top 3 in particular, because of this DNF. And I think that the High Limit Series needs, say one way or another if you want, I think they need this to be tight. They need this to be a close championship battle, not just for the branding, but for the series recognition of the strength of field, because I think that's why people just think that Brad Sweet's going to sweep the championship. They don't see anybody else on the roster that's going to contend with them on a consistent full-time basis. So I think this is, sadly or not, this is good for the High Limit Series for Brad Sweet to have a DNF. If he has another bad night and a couple of these guys pop something off, then that's good for High Limit. They need this championship to be a contentious one. Anyways, we are going to go to the chat now. Chat is on the board. What do y'all think about everything that we're talking about here tonight? Let's see. But Kyle might just retire from the NASCAR series. Why does it have to go? I want to know. Tech with them. What does that mean? AI really going out on the Justin Sanders prediction. Where did you say that? Antioch is tighter than Thunderbolt. Yeah, well, it's like Thunderbolt, but it's a quarter mile. It's not a bigger track like that. Justin Sanders wins Antioch. That's what AI said. AI really going out on a limb with that NARC prediction. I think I could show y'all this because I was having fun. NARC did a interview with Justin. And it had who is race car driver Justin Sanders? We're done with the high limit topics. That's all the things I had to say about everything. So if you're here for the high limit topics, that's a whole nother situation here. Let's see if I can pull up this conversation I had with AI. It may not work because let's see here. Okay, let's see here. It was really cool, actually. I thought it was cool. Here it is. So we had this conversation. Hold on, let's see here. View messages. Is there a way to view the messages in a more bigger? Okay, there we go. I don't want y'all to see all the girls I'm talking to on my personal messenger. Y'all get all mad. Y'all get all jealous and shit. Here we go. We'll pull it up. So there was a video that NARC made with Justin Sanders, and below it said, Justin Sanders race background. And I just asked AI to see what it would say. It said, Justin Sanders is a professional sprint car driver from Northern California. He has competed in various racing series, including the King of the West NARC Fujitsu Sprint Car Series, and the World of Outlaws. Sanders has won several championships and races throughout his career or in races throughout his career, solidifying his reputation as a talented and accomplished sprint car driver. This is what Meta AI is saying about Justin. How nice. I mean, you ain't going to ever fucking catch this on a Flow Racing documentary. Then I said, what are Justin Sanders? It had other options for questions, and I clicked this one. It said, what are Justin Sanders' notable racing achievements? Justin Sanders has had a successful racing career with several notable achievements. Here are a few highlights, and it goes on with 20th career NARC 410 Sprint Car Series wins, second career Howard Kading Classic triumph, 7th career Elk Grove Ford Sprint Car Challenge Tour triumph, and 24 career Wing 360 Sprint Car wins at Placerville. This win tied him with Brian Crockett for 7th on the all-time wins list. I didn't say it had this question because this is where we have our issues with Justin. What are Justin Sanders' future racing plans? Oh, no, Broke Joe. He's not going national. He has a family. Blah, blah. Justin Sanders' future racing plans appear to be focused on continuing his success in the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series. Is Meta AI Broke Joe at this point? His current schedule, here it is. This is where it gets interesting. His current schedule includes upcoming events at Antioch for the Contra Costa County Clash on May 10th. Additionally, he'll be competing in the Chris and Brian Feria Memorial Race at Tulare's Thunderbolt Raceway. Sanders has also been racing with the High Limit Sprint Car Series, driving for car owner Kevin Swindell. Although there isn't information on his upcoming High Limit Series schedule, he has shown promise in the series, finishing second to Kyle Larson at Wayne County Speedway in Ohio. It's worth noting that Sanders' plans may also include competing in the All-Star Circuit of Champion events, as he has driven for Macquarie Motorsports in the past. However, there isn't any information on his current plans with the All-Star Circuit of Champions. So this is where it had a really good question. I wanted to show Broke Joe this, and I was like, he's going to really piss off. He's going to get so mad. It had a question. I clicked it. It said, what are Justin Sanders' strengths and weaknesses as a driver? Oh, my God. Broke Joe, I hope you're listening. Are we calling Broke Joe tonight? Is he texting me? Here we go. We got the strengths and the weaknesses, guys. We're gonna hide those from you. Justin Sanders' strength as a driver includes exceptional speed control, aggressive yet calculating driving, and quick reflexes. As for weaknesses, though, there isn't much information available, but some potential areas for improvement could be consistency. While Sanders has shown impressive performances, maintaining consistency across different tracks and racing conditions might be an area to focus on. Performing on different track types. Oh, no, Broke Joe. Oh, no. Most of Sanders' wins have been on specific tracks, such as Antioch Speedway and Placerville Speedway. His performance on different track types, like high banks or larger tracks, might be worth exploring. Keep in mind that these are based on limited observations, and more data would be needed to accurately assess Sanders' strengths and weaknesses. Now, I did skip over reading the details of the strengths for a particular reason. The race coming up that he is planning to attend, as it says up here, for his future racing plans, his current schedule includes upcoming events at Antioch Speedway for the Contra Costa County Clash on May motherfucking 10th. I need to be the announcer in art. That would be good. But look what it said underneath his strength. Of exceptional speed control. Sanders demonstrated exceptional speed control, allowing him to navigate through heavy traffic with ease. This skill was evident during the Contra Costa County Clash at Antioch Speedway, where he outgunned the field for the entire 30-lap distance. What? Wait, the Contra Costa County Clash at Antioch is tomorrow or today, depending on where you're living. It is past midnight here. This is a part of his future plans, Mr. Meta AI Broke Joe. So how did he display this exceptional speed control during the Contra Costa County Clash at Antioch, where he outgunned the field for the entire 30-lap distance, like you say is one of his strengths. AI, are we in a fucking matrix? Because if we are in a matrix, AI already knows how to code the future. It's already got all the mathematicians, the gematria of the situation. It already knows how to add up all the numbers and all the equations and properly predict the future of the matrix. That's what gematria is using mathematics to predict future events in sporting and politicals and everything. And it gets to a point where it's like either there is an elite class that runs society and we are just like uncontrollable and they dictate everything that happens from politicals to gaming to everything, or there is actually a matrix and these mathematical equations are adding up to future events, and it's like an actual substructure of some kind of mathematical framework that we live within. And if that's true, if that option, if it's not elitist actually running all the world and we're in a damn simulation that is based on a mathematical grid, AI, if it is AI, they're never going to let us know how full bore AI is. But if it actually knows how to do those mathematical equations, it might have just stepped all over its dick by revealing in this that Justin Sanders is going to outgun the entire field tomorrow for 30 laps. This skill was evident during the Contra Costa County Clash at Antioch, where he outgunned the field for 30 laps. That's tomorrow. And you even said it is a part of his future plans up here. So this is, in my opinion, AI predicting Justin Sanders as the winner tomorrow. And if Justin Sanders goes out there and leads every 30 laps, we need to question reality now. Reactions in the chat. It's the lizard sprints. Okay, are we done? Chaz needs cardio for show. Broke Joe might work you do for show. Okay, can't even type straight. Somebody said open the lines because that's because AI is the simulation. If AI is real, it's going to be able to do these mathematical equations to break down the grid, guys. It is true. It is true. It is going to break down the mathematical grid, and it should properly be able to predict the future if it is based on those things. If it is based on those things. Or the elites run the world, and somebody's in control of everything that happens. And the numbers and everything are signs based on their demonic rule package that they have to say things like that. We do have a chat. Who do you think will win the Lucas Oil Championship? Do you think Gravel will respect the... I can't. All right, we're opening up the lines, ladies and gentlemen. Call now, lady. Oh, God. Lines are open. Rusty Vision wants it. We got it. We're here, bitch. We didn't plan on going too long tonight. We got a very late start. So if we don't get a call here very soon, we're going to just close it out. Oh, no. What is this? Hello. Hello. Who is this? I think so. We have you on mute right now. Who is this? We have the same issues with, I guess, trollers of the show still calling. I think that does it, guys. I think we're going to have to close the lines now at this point. We can't, at this point, I'm not going to have live callers going forward anymore. We're going to have planned callers, and that's about it. So the live calls are about to come to a close. You can go thank Brian Huberts of the world and his little Northern California clique for ending the live calls on the show. We're not dealing with that shit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Thanks for tuning into the show. We're gonna close her out now, and like I said, if you want to blame somebody, go blame them. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of things happened tonight. Be sure to leave a comment, share the video around. As always, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for the super chat earlier. Maybe we'll just start doing that super chats only to talk, or something along those lines, or planned guests who want to call into the show. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in this evening. It was fun to do the show. And as always, be sure to subscribe, and we will catch y'all next time. Congrats to Cap Henry at Attica. Bye.
We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best, so we can